I mean, Ramsay's a massive influence, and in fact, if it wasn't for Ramsay, I wouldn't have started writing. It was Ramsay that kick-started my writing, because I read, I got hold of Dark Companions, which is a collection, the early 80s, wasn't it?
Yes, it was.
And I was so blown away by it, I just thought, I've got to do that. And so, and I never really thought about it before. So the first 3 or 4 stories I wrote were just complete carbon copies of Unforgivably So, of Ramsay's stories, and then gradually, by copying him, learned how to do it a bit more like me. So, I mean, to be doing this reading now, if I could go back and tell my 18-year-old self, he would not believe it, put it that way.
And Ramsay, how impressed have you been by Jeremy's work?
Hugely.
You can't ask him that.
Yes, I can. I was very, very fond of those. Well, no, never mind, Never Trust a Rabbit, which I greatly love. But, I mean, going back to the League of Gentlemen, which I always felt was horror fiction masquerading as comedy, and not even necessarily that well disguised at times. But if you didn't have that audience, it always sounded a bit like the audience to which they cut in Monty Python, full of old ladies with handbags, laughing and going, when there was a sad bit, then I honestly don't know whether I could come. Let me tell you one thing. Pete Atkins, once of this parish, wrote the Hellraiser sequel. He finds The League of Gentlemen so disturbing he actually cannot watch it at all. He can't cope. That's a tribute.
That's a compliment, isn't it? Yeah.
What is it that drew you to horror writing?
Well, it's what I love. It's what I loved as a kid, and it's what I loved growing up. And it's like Stephen King always says, "What makes you think we have a choice?" It's just what you do, And in fact, I've learned to my cost. If I go too far away from it, I come undone. So it's better to stick to what you know.
Me? Oh, gee. Well, I started off with Rupert Bear when I was about 18 months old, and it was the first time I can really remember being absolutely terrified by something as I read. And from there to Hans Andersen and Victorian fairy tales, supposedly for kids, but actually the fact that they kind of understated themselves simply meant that I imagined far worse than was actually there on the page. So really, my imagination was looking for terror wherever it could find it. And basically, what else can I do now? I'm locked in.
And what would you say scares you?
A first night audience, nothing more terrifying.